place like home. True enough for the UCLA Bruins. After 3 straight road quad meets, the UCLA Bruins have finally found their way back to Westwood tonight. UCLA celebrates both its home opener and the beginning of conference play against the Gym Dogs of the University of Washington. It's all live. It's the meet of the week and only on the Pac-12 network. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Watts alongside former UCLA stars Janae Honest. Welcome back inside historic Poly Pavilion, where once again UCLA is expected to battle for the Pac-12 title. But Janae, there's been a slow start. They're 2-7 to start the year. UCLA. They're only ranked 15th, and they've only hit 197 once in 3 starts. Should we be concerned?
I don't think so. The Bruins have always had a trend of peaking late, but there has been one event that's been consistent, which is the floor, scoring in that 49.5 range. So as long as they can get the other 3 events to match floor, they'll be in a good spot.
And of course, you throw out all the numbers and all my questions. They're still at home, first time. That's got to have a positive reaction.
No, I was just talking to the coaches and the athletes. They're so excited to be home. There's nothing like competing in Poly, and the student section is like no other, and it's amazing.
Put aside all the negativity. UCLA is still ranked 15th, and they're still loaded. The roster is like an all-star. Throw a dart at the wall, and you can hit somebody who's on a national team or an Olympic squad at some point. Let's start with Selena Harris. She was the freshman of the year last season, now as a sophomore. Maybe even better. She's hit 995 on all 4 event betters already this year.
And she just picked up right where she left off, and just an absolute stopper. Very inspiring to watch, and just this ball of talent. She's consistent with those big skills. All great athlete all around.
And the thing I love, she's clutch. She's 60 and the 6 out of 67, and tonight she's scheduled to go in the all-around. For Washington, they've lost more than half of their routes from last year, but it's not a rebuild, it's more of a remodel. Sophomore Lily Tubbs has added full to her program to try and pick up some of the slack.
And Lily's really come into her own, and she actually had a later start to this sport. She didn't start gymnastics until she was 9 years old, so Coach Jen just has to remind herself that she's only been at it for about 10 years, but she's been intentional with her off-season training, and we're really seeing it pay off.
Yeah, Tubbs posted a career best on her new event last week. She's in 2 lineups again tonight. Washington has won a conference meet in 2 years. UCLA ready to roll. UW-UCLA live from Westwood, the meet of the week, and only on the Pac-12 network. High this year, a 9-9 at that same meet 2 weeks ago in Utah.
Her full is really good in the air. You can just see clean form throughout the entire flip and the twist, and she knew exactly where she was landing. So that's a really good start off, actually.
UCLA on the season is number 6 in the country, second best in the conference on this event, averaging a 49.3, and they have 2 gymnasts that are ranked. For Washington, who begins in the Olympic order as the visitor on the bars, this is statistically their weakest event at 40th in the nation, averaging just a 48.7, but they have hit 49 in 2 out of their 3. And last week against California up in Seattle, we were there for that meet. They had 3 gymnasts go 9.8 or better, Lynn, Moody, and Russin. And they begin with Lily Tubbs, who we talked about at the start of the show.
And I mentioned earlier that with her off-season training, she was being really intentional, working on her shaping, her core, her lines, which is exactly what you want to focus on for the uneven bars. Great handstand so far. Dismount of a layout. And fought for that landing. That was really good.
And we should point out, we've done it a couple of times already, that in college now, the judges are going to make you hold that landing. No college stick where you roll out of it on your heels or your toes. And she did exactly that. So 9.875 for Lee to start the night for UCLA. Paige Anastasi. Paige's been on the vault in all 3 meets, and twice has gone 9.8. She had a 9.825 at the Super 16. Short.
Yeah, I remember talking with the coaches, and BJ mentioned that she had the potential of doing a 1.5, but she absolutely does have a full, so she just went for it, and luckily they won't have to count that later. Yeah, she just didn't get enough pop off the horse, and the pop off the horse is what helps with your rotation to be able to make it completely to your feet.
And Janelle McDonald, UCLA head coach now in her second season, goes right over to Paige and explains what happened. That's a coach's job. You got to build them up when they're low and keep them down when they're high. Find that sweet spot. Janelle McDonald's done an excellent job. The Western Region Coach of the Year last season. 9.85 for Tubbs, and so with the UCLA fall, an opportunity early on for Washington. Olivia Oppegard is second up. Goal for Washington, stay in the meet as long as they can, and then hope for some magic in the second half. Olivia, a sophomore from Newport Beach, down in Orange County, so just about 45 miles from these bars. Club team with Scats. She's got 9.85 at Las Vegas, high score this year.
She's a beautiful bar worker, beautiful lines, her knees and toes squeezed together. It's a big straddle Jaeger for her major release. Ramping up for her dismount, very fluid throughout. And also held that landing. You can tell they're being really intentional with the landings. Here's another look at the dismount. It's a double layout.
Yeah, you can tell by Cody Llewellyn, the assistant coach, he had his hands in the air halfway through that dismount because he knew exactly where she had to be.
Yep.
And that's where she was, opened up early. Anastasi sat it down, so they're going to want to forget that score. Remember, you can drop your low score, but then the other 5 count. Caitlin Rosen has been terrific for UCLA. And Rosen, one of the new stars, a freshman from Texas.
Kuchenko 1.5. That was beautiful. And you can just tell from comparing with her teammate, the pop off was a lot bigger. She had a lot more height, a lot more rotation, and that's how she was able to get to her feet and find that landing.
Veteran from the U.S. national team a couple of years ago. She's had 2 9.85s this year. Just a little hop.
And she landed almost right in the middle of those 2 lines, too. That was great.
Good start for Washington, 9.85 and a 9.825, and they hand the baton to Kristen Lynn. Lynn on the bars, off to a good start, had a career-high 9.825 at Iowa, and then last week in the home opener against number 2 California went 9.8.
With Coach Jen, and she explained to me that Kristen is extremely competitive and really gaining her confidence and found her strides in the past 3 weeks, which when you look at the scores of her routines, they improved greatly.
Well, she's a freshman, right? So it takes them a little while to get their feet under them, get the rhythm of college. She was a 6-time NorCal State champion, top 2 on all 4 events last year at the club level. 9.9 for Rosen, so that's a career high for the freshman. And here comes Campbell, 9.95. Now this isn't a spectacular vault, but somehow she always brings people out of their seats because she does it so well. And she has gone perfect on this vault many times in the past.
There's a reason why I call this vault the vault, the in all caps, because it's just textbook. She has the power, the height. She flares out every time. It's amazing. I love watching her vault. It's like she kind of goes on autopilot a little bit and knows exactly what to do, and her face is so calm, and that just shows that she's a senior and knows what to do.
She already went 9.95 at Las Vegas earlier this year. I don't know what's wrong with that one. I mean, maybe there's a little slip on the landing with her feet, but I'm just trying to find something. I don't know.
She really just brought her heels together.
You're right. You're right. She was just bringing them back together. You're right. She loves it. It's like, what's wrong with it? Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
So good.
If it's not a 9.95, you got to tell me why. Kristen Lynn, 9.75.
Yep, they gave it to her, 9.95.
Crowd already reacting, 9.95 for Shea Campbell. And the pressure goes right back onto UW.
Beautiful major release move into the connection, and Skylar, she is a a rock for this team. She's the only all-arounder on this team, and she has the capability to score 9-9 plus across the board. She had a little hot forward on that landing, but that's truly the only thing that I saw. The rest of the routine looked really, really good.
We know Skylar Kilhoe-Wilhelm is fantastic. Preseason watch list in the Pac-12. The only problem for her is because they're so young and there's so much transition. I think she's trying to do too much. She just needs to stay within herself.
Yeah, that's very possible to do too much when you put too much pressure on yourself.
There's the 995 for Campbell, so that is a perfect score. And now you go Harris and Reed. That's 7 now for Shea Campbell in her career. 7 perfect scores.
This vault is spectacular. Yurchenko 1.5.
What's wrong with that one?
Looks just like Caitlin's, the one that we saw before. Just again, very textbook. Great pop off the horse. Incredible power. Very clean.
She too has a season high of 995. This has got to be at least a 995. Look at the legs, perfect.
Yeah.
Small hop.
Yeah, I think she just lifted up on her toes a little bit to try and fight for that landing.
Yeah.
So they'll take, they may take I think a half tenth for it, but great score. And it's starting from a 10, so they're in a good spot.
Celine Harris, freshman of the year a season ago. SK Dub goes 985. Dia Moody. It's a good rotation for Washington. Like to see somebody hit 9-9. Maybe Moody can do it. She had 9-8s against Cal and Iowa the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were talking about landings earlier, and Dia over the summer really dialed in on those landings and honed it. And so even having her in the middle of the lineup, they know they can count on her.
She's a junior upperclassman, got to come through in the clutch. Like that.
She dialed in on that landing. We can see it.
Be careful.
I will say, gymnasts are pretty clumsy outside of the gym, so that did not surprise me.
Is that true?
Oh yes. Take us outside of a gym and we'll trip over a line.
Wasn't aware of that.
A chalk line, yeah.
Beautiful scores. Look at the 9-9, 9-9-5, and 9-9 as Harris checks in. And here's Nia Reed. Graduate student, the transfer from Florida. She was second-team All-American on vault for the Gators. SEC runner-up, went 9-9 8 times, and has gone 9-8-5 this year in Vegas for UCLA. The runway is clear.
A lot of power on that. And she gets a lot of distance already, so it's really just kind of calming herself a little bit. And even before she did the vault, you can see that she did a big deep breath before vaulting. So I think it's really just controlling all that power that she has, because she can easily do a Yurchenko double.
Again, same thing. Anytime somebody has a little bit of a problem, I love it. Janae McDonald goes right over and has that coachable moment right then when it's still fresh.
Yep. It's important. The timing's important.
So that's 4 9-8 pluses for Washington now as Moody comes in 9-8 plus. And they close with Taylor Russin.
Beautiful blind into a straddle Jaeger, way above the bar, directly connected into a bail. Fought for that, yep, fought for that handstand. And nailed that landing. So yeah, I think the only deduction is really just looking for that vertical handstand, but she did fight for it.
Russin's a 9-8 machine. She hit that number or better 10 times last year. Has already done it twice this season. And that may be a season high for Washington on the bars. We'll have to add up the numbers. Brian Brooks, assistant coach right there with the high hands. UCLA and Washington, the meet of the week from Westwood on the Pac-12 Network.